the seventh day. It didn't say he blessed the first day, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth. It said he blessed the seventh day. Okay. Not that none of those days were good, because he said all of those things that he made and created on those days, he said they were good. They're very good. But on this day, he blessed it. And then it says, and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which he created and made. Let's look at Exodus 20. That was also found in our first paragraph. Exodus 20, verse 8 through 11 expounds on this seventh day, right? In Genesis, he just calls it the seventh day. But in Exodus, he gives it a name. Okay, he gives the seventh day a name. And this is one of the key, I hope you guys can see this, but on at the very beginning, and this is the New King James Version that I got right here. Or maybe it's the King James. Anyway, now the first word here says remember. Remember. That means remember means to call to mind, bring it back, right? Remember. So he says, remember the Sabbath day and do what with it? Keep it holy. Okay? Keep it holy. I'm trying to see if I had it. We looked at holy, and we said holy means it's dedicated and consecrated to God, or religious purposes, it is sacred. So he wants us to keep it sacred, Sabbath day, and keep it holy. So he tells us to remember it. Then he goes on in verse 10, he says, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. So there he is. He names it in verse 8, and then he expounds a little more on verse 10. And then he tells us what to do. He says, in it, thou shalt not do any work. Who shouldn't do work? You shouldn't do work. Your children shouldn't do work. People who work for you shouldn't do work. Even he goes down even to the animals. They don't need to be doing work. He said, if people come and visit you, and he's like, people in your gates, people who are staying, they shouldn't be doing work either. What he's saying, don't do any work on that day. If it looks like work, sounds like work, then maybe you need to examine that, okay?